This is Masai. He's the president of basketball operations for the Toronto Raptors. He's most well known for helping the Toronto Raptors win the 2019 NBA championship, and he did that by trading away their all-star DeMar DeRozan for superstar Kawhi Leonard. But he's also well known for another thing. It's less well known, so we're going to go through it today. In 2010, he joined the Denver Nuggets in order to rebuild them and help them win a championship. And by 2013, in only 3 or 4 seasons, he'd given the Denver Nuggets the greatest team they'd ever had. Even still to this day, they're yet to catch up to this team. So his job was to turn a pretty good 53-win 2010 Denver Nuggets team and get them into a good team. And as you can see here, he took over at the end of 2009-10, which means he really only had 3 seasons to do it all. In 2011, 2012, and by 2013, they were a 57-win team. And you're probably thinking, the team was already 50 wins. He probably didn't change much to help them get to 57 wins. They were already 53 wins in 2010. Just make a couple moves, keep the same players, and you should be good, right? But no, he did something completely different. He completely flipped the entire team. And we're going to go through that right now. So as the 2010 team, we have Carmelo Anthony. He's an all-star, number 3 in scoring in the entire league. Kenyon Martin, who's a solid starter. Chauncey Billups, who's an all-star, 20 points per game, 6 assists per game. That's really good. Nene is the starting center, number 1 in true shooting percentage in the entire NBA. And J.R. Smith, the backup shooting guard. He's number 5 in 3-point shooting in the entire NBA. Birdman Chris Anderson is highly ranked, number 6 in blocks. And we have Ty Lawson as well, a rookie. He's the youngest player on the team. So this is a solid team. They barely lost the playoffs. First round, they lost in 6, 4-2. And they were the best team in the entire league before the playoffs. So the big 2 on the team is the second pick from 2003, Carmelo Anthony, and Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups used to be on the Pistons, but he was traded for Allen Iverson, who used to be the old number 2 in 2008, and now Billups is here. Billups is basically out of his prime. Melo is in the middle of his prime. He's probably even entering the second stage of his prime. Here's how Melo's tenure with the Nuggets have gone. So since 2003, he's stuck around the 40 win cost. However, since 2008, he's been getting 50 wins consistently. Only in 2009, that's the only season his entire career where he didn't get knocked out in the first round. 2009, 54-28, so the number 1 team in the entire league, and they lost 4-2 in the conference finals to the eventual champion Lakers. In 2009, that was the least that was expected, with Chauncey and everyone still there. But they lost in the first round. So this is the year they go from an up-and-coming team into a disappointing team. The number 1 team in the league still is unable to make it past the first round, still unable to win a championship. So they've brought in this new GM, this new president of basketball operations, and he hopes to rebuild the team to make them better. Masai's method for rebuilding is getting rid of all the old and aging players and replacing them with youth. And that plan starts with the youngest player on the team already, Ty Lawson. He's just a rookie, 22 years old, and he's the backup point guard to Chauncey Billups. He's scoring 8, 2, and 3, so he's definitely playing like an all-rookie. But Steph Curry's on the first team and James Harden is the point guard on the second team, so he had no chance of getting on the all-rookie teams. So this is why it's shocking. So as you can see, we have 2 all-stars, Carmelo Anthony and Chauncey Billups. The only player in gold, Ty Lawson, is the only one who's going to be on the team in 2013 for that 57-win season. So it's shocking that 2 all-stars aren't on the greatest team. Before the season ends, the old GM, Mark Wartentine, makes 2 signings. He signs Al Harrington, who was just scoring 18, 6, and 2, so that's a really good signing, and Sheldon Williams as well. Masai's first move is to sign Melvin Ely and Gary Forbes, who haven't played a game in the last season. And Gary Forbes is literally an unsigned rookie. So also Johan Petro, Joey Graham, Malik Allen, he lets them all walk in free agency and they sign with different teams. And Kobe Cole, the coach's son, and Brian Butch are waived before the next season starts. So then here's the team in 2011, or 2010/2011. The starting lineup is Carmelo Anthony, Aflalo, Chauncey Billups, Nene, and Kenyon Martin. And Ty Lawson, J.R. Smith, and Al Harrington are the main guys off the bench. So yeah, the best team in the NBA, added an 18 points per game scorer, and they still have their core, and they're basically all rookie, has improved by another year. So how do they fare with all of this improvement? Oh, one more thing before the season even starts. So rumors start coming out that Melo wants to leave Denver and he's requesting his trade and stuff apparently. Later on, like 2 years later, we find out he doesn't want to be on a rebuilding team, but at the time it's just a big rumor. Melo wants to leave Denver, but they're really good. Why does he want to leave? So we'll get into that later. Okay, so halfway through the season, Melo's playing like an all-star, number 3 in scoring, 25, 8, and 3, okay? Billups' production has gone down. Kenyon Martin's production has gone down. Al Harrington's production has gone down. Anthony Carter, the backup point guard's production has gone down. And despite all that, still first in the West. So even though the season's going well, I guess, this is the point where Melo requests a trade. The reason why, because the team's rebuilding. They got rid of Dante Jones before Masai joined. He was mad about that. They weren't going to re-sign Chauncey Billups. They were going to let Kenyon Martin's contract run out. And Melo felt the core that just got them to the Western Conference Finals 2 seasons ago, they're going to ruin it and get some new young players. He doesn't want to be there for that, so they're going to trade him. The trade that goes down is legendary. So with New York and Minnesota in a 3-team trade, Melo goes to New York, so does Ronaldo Balkman, so does Chauncey Billups, so does Anthony Carter, so does Sheldon Williams, and a 2016 pick that becomes Jakob Poeltl, and a 2015 pick that becomes Richaun Holmes goes to Minnesota. And they fleece New York. From Minnesota, they get Costa Koufos. Minnesota was just there for other reasons, so we'll just leave him out. He's literally not a factor at this point in time. From New York, they get Wilson Chandler, 16, 6, and 2. Raymond Felton, who's basically playing like an all-star, 17, 4, and 9. Number 7 in assists in the league. Danilo Gallinari, 16 points per game as well. Timofey Mozgov, good backup center. And a 2012 Golden State second-round pick, as well as a 2013 second-round pick, and a 2014 first-round pick that becomes Dario Saric, and a 2016 first-round pick as well. That 2016 first turns into Jamal Murray. So, in only his 3rd trade, Masai managed to get the Nuggets Jamal Murray, their point guard of the future, who they still rely on today, which is kind of cool. And just like that, we get 4 more players from the Melo trade: Costa Koufos, Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari, Timofey Mozgov, all players. And here's how the rest of the season goes without Melo. 18 and 7. That's a pretty good record with 2 All-Stars missing basically. 50 and 32 for the whole season. Aflalo steps up his play. Felton falls off. He went from 17 points per game to 12, but he's still number 7 in assists somehow. Gallinari's playing the same. Wilson Chandler's production has gone down. Nene's still playing the same. Ty Lawson's play has gone up. Kenyon Martin's continuing his downfall, as is Harrington. Costa Koufos still playing at 3 and 3, so that's pretty cool. And still without Melo, we can't make it into the second round, losing in Game 5 in the first round. And as expected, at the end of the season, Kenyon Martin is gone and he signs with a new team in the off-season. So does J.R. Smith, so does Gary Forbes, and so does Melvin Ely. So all those players are gone. They signed with other teams and we get nothing back for them. Then the 2011 draft comes. And with the 22nd pick, the Nuggets picked Kenneth Faried. And Kenneth is a significant part of our 2013 team. So 22nd pick in 2011 draft, Kenneth Faried. And on the same draft day, we trade Raymond Felton, who's number 7 in assists, and we get 3 things back for him. Jordan Hamilton, the 26th pick. Andre Miller, who just had a 13, 4, and 7 season for Portland, so that's pretty cool. And the 2014 second-round pick for Dallas. And a couple months later, on free agency, we get Julian Smith, who's an undrafted rookie. Damari Carroll, who played last season but barely got any minutes. And Michael Ruffin, who gets cut before the season starts. Corey Brewer had a solid season for the Timberwolves, but as part of the Melo trade, he was traded to New York and waived. Then he went to Dallas, where he helped them with 2 points per game in their championship series. Anyway, so now him and Rudy Fernandez are champions, and Dallas is trading them to Denver for a future 2016 second round pick, probably a piece that they can use for a trade later. So in a super busy 2011 offseason, we got Andre Miller and Jordan Hamilton from the Raymond Felton trade. We also got Julian Stone and Damari Carroll in free agency, and Corey Brewer from an offseason trade for that pick. And the 2011-2012 season is lockout shortened, and that's why there were so many trades and so many moves allowed to happen, just because there was so much downtime, so there was so much time to plan the teams. And our starting lineup is Ty Lawson, Aaron Afloro, Danilo Gallinari, Nene, and Al Harrington. And we go halfway through the lockout shortened season, and we can see Ty Lawson's improved massively, and he's number 10 in assists. Aflolo's improved as well, 15, 3, and 2. We have Nene, who's improved as well. Al Harrington's improved as well. Andre Miller has fallen a bit, but he's now number 9 in assists. Wilson Chandler has improved a bit, and we have Kenneth Faried playing as an all-rookie player, so he's pretty good. Corey Brewer has also improved. Costa Koufos has also improved, and Timofey Mozgov has also improved. So 24 and 20, we're just above 500, and we have a lot of improvement on our team. Anyway, Nene Hilario's improved, so he's got to be traded. We're going to trade him for a similar but younger player. Number 2 in blocks in the NBA for the season, JaVale McGee. And the lockout shortened 2012 season ends. So we're 38 and 28, second in the West. We lose in Game 7 in the first round, so still unable to finish the first round. But as you can see, almost the entire team improved. JaVale McGee improved when he got here as well. So our team's solid and it's still improving. And a couple postseason moves just to make our team a little bit better. Rudy Fernandez, we let him walk in free agency and he signs with a different team. And Chris Anderson, Birdman, he gets waived and he signs with the Heat where he becomes an icon, I guess. And now we have the 2012 draft. We have 3 picks in this draft. The 20th pick, the 38th pick, which we got from the Melo trade, and the 50th pick as well. And we take Evan Fournier, Quincy Miller, and Izzet Turkogymaz. And yeah, the team gets 2 more contributors, which end up on the 2013 team. Also, for free agency, we take Anthony Randolph, who's had an improved year over at his last team, Ben Uzo, who we waive, and Anthony Carter, who used to be on this team, who we also sign and then waive before the season starts. And yeah, so we take Anthony Randolph on a 3-year contract, and he's now on our team. And the final move before we go to our legendary 2013 team, we trade away 2 big starters, Aflalo and Al Harrington, as well as the 2 trades we literally got from New York in the Melo trade. We trade all of that in a 4-team trade as well with Orlando, LA, and Philadelphia. We get Iguodala, an all-star, an all-defensive second-team difference maker from the Philadelphia 76ers. So our last move, we get another all-star, and we're adding him to a pretty solid team already. So just like promised, the Nuggets now have an all-star and a whole bunch of young players, and they can actually make a go to do something this season. And how does it go? So we end the season 57 and 25, second in the Western Conference, and like I said before, that's the greatest record the Nuggets have ever gotten in franchise history in the NBA. And look at Iguodala, he's not an all-star, but 13, 5 and 5, number 7 in steals, he's a pretty good player. Ty Lawson is playing so well at 17, 3 and 7, he is number 12 in MVP voting this season. We have Kenneth Faried, number 9 in field goal percentage, and number 8 in offensive rebounds. Wilson Chandler had a better year. Corey Brewer had a better year. Costa Koufos, who came from nothing, had a better year. Corey Brewer had a better year, and he was number 4 in steals. JaVale McGee, number 6 in blocks, number 3 in field goal percentage. Timofey Mozgov fell off a little bit, but 57 wins. So yeah, once again, we have a great team. Effort coming from everyone. Multiple double-digit scorers. What do we do in the playoffs? We lost in the first round again in Game 6. Same as in 2010 when Masai took over. It's almost like nothing happened. And look, don't for a second discount the coaching. George Karl's an all-time great coach, but we also can't forget the man who put it together, 57 wins coming from a team which had two All-Stars which only won 53 games max the entire time. An all-time great player was there. To have 57 wins built from a team made up of guys who have been together for basically less than 2 seasons is insane. So many All-Stars, so many all-time greats were unable to make that happen. So at the end of the season, Masai leaves to join the Raptors, and the Nuggets literally fall off a cliff. Same coach, same everything, but they go from second in the West to a losing record, and they don't have a winning record again until 5 years later, 2018, and they don't make the playoffs again until 6 years later in 2019. So that's the effect of an all-time great executive leaving a team like that.